Hi, darlings. I'm Ariel, and this is Maven Unmasked, and welcome to the Gospel of Aradia unboxing video with this lovely deck by Blue Angel Publishing and Stacey Demarco. I saw this deck, and parts of me were attracted to it, and parts of me wasn't. But I'm just going to go ahead and give it a go. I had learned about the Gospel of the Witches or the Gospel of Aradia, I'm going to say maybe about a year ago. Now, I am not Wiccan. I do not, subscribe to any particular, genre or religion or facet of spirituality. I'm very eclectic, so I'm a little bit here, a little bit there. But I would encourage you to just do some reading on the Gospel of the Witches, on the goddess Aradia. Apparently, she is supposed to be the daughter of Apollo and the moon goddess Diana. So if you're interested in that or want to know more, I'd suggest you to give it a Google. But this deck is The Gospel of Aradia by Stacey Demarco with artwork by Jimmy Manton. And lovely Blue Angel Publishing box. We love their boxes. They're absolutely fabulous. It's a 34 card deck. So I'm just going to read to you a little bit about what it says on the back. The story of Aradia. Oh, one thing I read, nobody seems to know where the name Aradia truly came from. But it was thought to have meant the altar of Diana or Diana's altar or something like that. I honestly, sorry, I'm not too sure right now. Do some reading on it. But anyway, the story of Aradia is steeped in mystery. Was she a goddess or a flesh and blood woman? Yes, in Italy, a lot of people thought she was a flesh and blood woman that came to liberate the people pretty much, and to help get them out of oppression through the use of magic. To some, she was the first witch, to others, the leader of a resistance movement, and still to more, a wise teacher with female disciples. A spiritual mentor and a powerful role model for women to aspire to, Aradia traveled throughout medieval Italy and Europe, teaching the ways of the divine feminine. Okay. Through this exquisitely illustrated deck, you will walk hand in hand, heart to heart with Aradia, and be guided into the rich sacred world of her gospel. It is a journey to rediscover, strengthen, and empower the real you as you connect with the inspiring stories that form her legacy. Aradia's truth, compassion, and ancient wisdom have the power to transform our greatest fears into love and our most worrying obstacles into opportunities for growth and joy. I love that. Love, love that. So, inside the box, no special design or anything, just green. I think it's a really interesting shade of green, the forest green that they used for this as well. And here is the book, about typical Blue Angel deck size book. It's got some information about the author and the artist in the back. Jimmy Manton has also done the work for the Halloween Oracle, the Earth Power Oracle, which I love, Gods and Titans and Goddesses and Sirens as well. Okay, but let's start with the front of the book. Okay, so it's got the table of contents with all the cards. Way in the back, it says it's got some useful definitions, so maybe, throughout the introduction or card meanings, there may be some words that we are not too familiar with, so it's got, an explanation of that in the back. It gives us an introduction, which I think is a little bit about witchcraft and different spiritual paths, and about Aradia and the Dianic cults. Just a little bit about the history of the story of Diana and Aradia. Oh, I want to read this little bit to you. In the late 1800s, folklorist Charles Godfrey Leland compiled a book of mythology, rituals, spells, incantations, and stories connected to what he believed was a spiritual system still operating at that time in Italy, a distinctly Italian system, particularly in Tuscany and northern Italy. His book, Aradia, Gospel of the Witches, speaks of La Vecchia Religione, the old religion, um, and describes many of the rituals, incantations, and stories passed down onto him by hereditary Strighi. And it was originally published in 1899 and is seen by some as an important link between ancient European witchcraft and modern day Strigonaria practices. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. But it gives, in the beginning, it gives the mythos of Aradia, which is super cool, actually. I like this too. That it really allows you to, get to know a little bit more in depth about, the character, this woman, this witch, this person, this goddess that this deck is all about. How to use the deck, dedicating your cards, spreads, and then Aradia's Journey, a 13 card spread, so that may be interesting to try out later. And then we go into the cards and the card meanings. So, like the first card gives a little bit, it gives a little poem and tells about the element. So, blood, and it talks about blood running through the veins of us all. In the Gospel of Aradia, blood is used to seal vows and promises. It talks a little bit about menstrual blood, so the magic and power of blood. Creation, and it pretty much goes like this for different cards. There's always the poem, and then some, blurb about the card and its meaning in regards to Aradia, anyway. And then what is this definitions thing I wanted to look at? Here we go. Some useful definitions. It's really short. It's only got a few words, but that may come in handy. Okay, so let's stop rambling and let's get to the part that everybody wants to see, the cards. So let's look at them. Okay, first impression. I love that there is an A on the back, and my name is Ariel, so I really, really love the A. To me, in my experience as a child, everybody called me lady, 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 because they're like, you're so proper and you're so ladylike and sweet and, classic, classy, like that kind of thing. So I love the A, totally lady A. Dig that. But let's look at some of the cards. So here's the blood card. And I like this image because it totally makes me think of like how sap is pretty much the blood of the tree. So we've got that, creation, curses. But I think it's a beautiful card though. It's like a mojo bag almost. I think that's got like, I'm not even going to guess what kind of flower that is. It's not lavender or hyacinth or anything, I don't think. Divinity. I'm not going to show you everyone. Escape. Don't know that word. Fecundity, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. New word for me, which I appreciate. It has the feminine, fight, fortune. It's very intuitive. Here's the actual gospel card, which is cool. Hedge, or maybe for the hedge witch. I don't know. La Luna, such a beautiful, 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 beautiful card and representation of the moon. This is probably one of my favorites of all time. So we have the feminine. We also have the masculine. Can't have one without the other. Night women, which I really appreciate this card. I'm not sure how this card references night women, but to me, it makes me think of two things. One, it makes me think of like sexual priestesses, like sacred sex and things like that. But it also makes me think of course, women of the night, creatures of the night, witches and such. But the goddess Lilith, um, in some cultures, people consider her to be a woman of the night in the sense that some believe that, if you don't protect your children from her, she may come to you and try to harm you in the night. And I don't necessarily believe that in that way about her. I think it's been changed, maybe misconstrued a little over time. But when I saw this card, that's instantly what I thought of. Oh, I like this one. Pilgrimage. That's interesting. It's a cool card to have in a deck. What else? Ritual. Always have to have a shadow card. The shadow. Synergy. Taboo. Beautiful cards. Beautiful cards. Beautiful colors. Cardstock. Typical Blue Angel deck cardstock. Not too hard, not too soft. Just nice, right? And the unknown card. I always love when there's an unknown card. It's so full of mystery and intrigue. It's just out of this world. So, I believe it's 34 cards in this deck. Yep, 34 cards. Not a super crazy big deck, but it's got lots of nice goodies in here. And I just wanted to draw a card for us, our very first reading from this deck. And I love the black and the gold. I guess this is supposed to be the cover of the Gospel of Aradia, maybe? I don't know. Just one card. I'll pick anyone. Of course, the shadow. So, what has your shadow been trying to tell you? What has been in the dark that needs to be brought to light? What needs to be worked out? And shadows can skew things. They can skew our perfection. Lots of things, the shadow of it is bigger than it actually is. So don't become disillusioned thinking something is actually bigger than it is. You may just need to turn the light on, shed some light on it, look at it from a different angle or a different way, and then you'll realize you are much bigger than your shadow. But I am Ariel, and this has been Maven Unmasked with the Gospel of Aradia Oracle. Opening, unboxing, brief little review, first impressions, thoughts, all that jazz. I hope you all have enjoyed this. And if you work with this deck, if you want this deck, any experiences with it, I think it would be great to use it in magic or ritual or spell work if you do that. But leave a comment below and let me know your experience. Let me know what you think, your opinions, love it, hate it, all of it. So, have a great one, lovelies. Bye.